the last pill that I had to taper was sertraline, and I just finally, my final like dose was 2 weeks ago, and now I'm off all psych drugs and all prescriptions that I was on. I used to take 18 pills a day for all conditions, not just psych drugs. And I thought that that was going to be my life from now on. I never really understood why it got to that point, but I eventually did come to terms with it. But I was just, I did not want to settle.
Yeah. So we talked before about this, and you said that the way that you found like free range psychiatry, the way you started discovering the path to healing for yourself was actually not focused on your mental health. You were focused on your IBS,
Yes.
correct? You were trying to find a way. So tell me about that. What was it? What was it you were trying to accomplish, and how did that lead you to finding a better way to treat your bipolar? And I say bipolar in scare quotes because there's a suspicion there that these symptoms were being caused by the medications you were taking. Okay, go ahead.
So my sister actually told me about this holistic doctor about an hour away from us. And she had a bunch of friends that I guess were going to this woman, and she told me a little bit about it. And I believed that I could heal my IBS. I believed that. But I in no way did think there was no way that you could heal mental illness. There was just no way. And because that's just what you're always told. And whenever I went to see her, I was set on just getting my gut healthy because I knew that my gut was so bad, and that's what really, really triggered a bunch of my issues. And the longer my gut was bad, the worse my mental health got along the way. And we talked some stuff about different things because I have other issues. And she told me that, you know, like, you don't need birth control for endometriosis. Like, you can heal that and all these different things. And I was like, there's no way. I don't believe you. Like, you're crazy. You're trying to hurt me. But I was hopeful. I was like, you know, I need to figure this out on my own and like believe it like by myself, because someone telling me that I can do these things, like, if I don't believe it, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And so it took me a few months, and then I really was like, okay, I really, really want to try this, because if I cannot have IBS and actually like travel like a normal person, that would just absolutely change my life, because the IBS attacks and my anxiety go hand in hand every time. The products that I used with this natural doctor, I looked them up on TikTok, and that is how I found the practitioner that I'm still using for my gut. And I think just the hashtags is kind of what is how free range psychiatry came up, just the holistic medicine and holistic healing. I just remember, I don't remember which exact TikTok it was that came up, but I think she was just talking about, I remember, no, it was the 5 signs that you've been psychiatrized. And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, this is me in every single way, because you start out with one disorder and now you have 3, because you've gone all these years being on medication, and it's like, okay, that makes no sense. Like, how am I getting worse? I've been in therapy this whole time. I've been taking my meds, never missed a dose. You know, like, I'm not, I don't know. I'm not abusing my meds. I mean, I did everything right, and I still got worse. That really was just like, okay, I need to look into this. And I get fixated on things. And I think in this case, it was for the better, because I researched so much. Because I was basically on my own. My health, it was just kind of like, okay, I guess you're never going to get better. You know, we've tried all these meds, and I don't know what to do with for you. So I was like, this cannot hurt me. any more than I've already been hurt. And I just knew if I just kept going on the medication journey, I just don't know how much longer I would have been able to take it.
Yeah.
Because I tried so hard not to die, and
Yeah.
I didn't have like a lot to look forward to. I kind of just made myself like, oh, there's an album coming out in a few months. I can't die yet because I want to listen to it. Or there's a book coming out that I want to read. So there was just really little things that kind of kept me alive. And the last psychiatrist that I went to, I switched one more time this past February because I'd only ever seen psychiatric nurse practitioners. And so I just wanted to see what this woman would say, if it was any different, if she had any more knowledge or education, just to see. And so I told her my story, and she said it was never bipolar disorder, but serotonin syndrome. I had actually came across that like a few months before I saw her. I was like, at this point, it really doesn't matter, because that would have been great information to know when it happened. Like if they would have figured that out, none of this would have happened. But that's not what happened. So, and she was like, so you don't need the Seroquel, and, we can try all new meds and you should be better because we're actually going to treat like the right disease. And I was like, okay. And I had been tapering on my own with my old provider just because I couldn't tell the difference between 200 milligrams of Seroquel and 150. It was all the same. So I had just started tapering, just because I just wanted to see. And so I was on 100 milligrams when I saw her, and she was like, that's literally nothing. Like there's nothing in your system of Seroquel. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Like there's people that can take 25 milligrams of that. Well, how is 100 nothing? And so she was just going to like replace the Seroquel with Cymbalta, and that's it. I wasn't going to taper or anything. And I was like, already after seeing like all this stuff with free range on TikTok and all about like the withdrawal that I'd learned, I was like, okay, she's going to tell me all these things, but I'm not going to listen to her because I'm not doing this. This is really dangerous, and I don't need anything else to happen. I did taper, but it was really, really fast. But it was better than nothing. Better than just stopping or just quitting 100 milligrams of Seroquel after being on it for 2 years, like it. And so I kind of contradicted myself while getting on like an SNRI and stuff when I was going to do the holistic psychiatry, because I finally had my first appointment with Dr. Jenna for like a few weeks after that, or maybe even a few days. And I had told her about everything that happened. And it's just kind of crazy, like the difference that I feel being off all of my meds. I never ever thought I would get back to feeling like this. It doesn't seem real sometimes. But whenever I had decided to get off the Cymbalta, I had been taking it 3 weeks, and that was like the end of February. And I just knew after talking to Dr. Jennifer that my psychiatrist here was just going to be like, okay, just stop it, because it's lowest dose and you've only been on it 3 weeks. So it's not even in your system yet. And so I was like, how do I safely get off Cymbalta? And she just did exactly what I knew she was going to do. And she was like, oh, you can just stop it. And I was like, okay. And I was just ready to get off of them and just to not have to deal with these doctors anymore. And so, and it was a capsule. So it was really, really, I don't even know how I would have entirely tapered. Like it's easier to do with a capsule, but, or a tablet. But, so I just stopped it cold turkey after 3 weeks. And the first day that I didn't take it, I had flu-like symptoms, and I thought I was getting like a stomach bug. I was so nauseous. I've never had nausea like that before. I just felt terrible. I had like the itchiest skin, and I was like looking it up, like itchy skin side effect, and they explain it as like coming out of your skin, like it feels like stuff's crawling on your skin, and like it was everywhere. I itched my scalp so hard that it's like still tender. I don't know if there's nerves or something, but I itched it. I had to like itch my skin with like a hairbrush. There was no relief there. And that went on for about a month, 6 weeks, these withdrawals. And I'd only been taking it for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe it. And I even messaged my psychiatrist here, and I was like, I'm having really bad withdrawals from the Cymbalta, because I just wanted to see what she'd say. And she was like, you know, it's probably your mental illness, because if you're doing worse without the medication. And I was like, well, I didn't itch my skin before this. I wasn't doing this before this. And so I was like, okay, I'm done with you. You've basically like called yourself out and done everything wrong. And the last pill that I had to taper was sertraline, and I just finally, my final like dose was 2 weeks ago, and now I'm off all psych drugs and all prescriptions that I was on. I used to take 18 pills a day for all conditions, not just psych drugs. And I thought that that was going to be my life from now on. I never really understood why it got to that point, but I eventually did come to terms with it. But I was just, I did not want to settle.
Yeah.